This is more a video about lessons learned and something that we can reference before our next trip out. If nobody else likes this video, I'm okay with that. This is this is an informational video. Hi everybody. No, we're not in the garage. We're not out hunting. I'm not Jaegering today. We are out ice fishing. Believe it or not, this is a human behind all this mask. It's my good buddy Marcus. Old friends from old work. And this is our first time out ice fishing. What are some of the lessons that we've learned so far?
We've learned quite a bit.
We have, actually. Don't get the truck stuck.
Oh, we're starting there.
Yeah. Don't get the truck stuck in the snow. That's step one.
We got more than we thought we did.
Yeah.
I would say
that was pretty bad.
About 3 feet over there.
Yeah. Woo! The wind's coming in. We're out on which lake?
Ontario.
Lake Ontario. We're I don't know, 200 meters off the shore. There's 8 to maybe 12 inches of ice underneath us. We have a hand auger, so we've learned we don't need a gas auger. It's just not necessary. Hand auger does just fine.
Unless you're old.
Unless you're really old. We've learned we need to prepare all of our fishing gear and our weights and tie on our hooks and all of that in the truck or at the house before we go out to the lake. We need to set up the tent or the shelter immediately after drilling the holes, and then do any additional work that we need to do, like say baiting the hooks in the tent to save our hands. What else have we learned?
You need to go and check the holes about every 10 minutes or so. Make sure that the ice hasn't refrozen over, so you're able to get your tip up out of the hole, your line basically out of the hole. It doesn't freeze over. You want to do that, keep the water kind of moving, so about every 10 minutes check them, run out and check. That's basically it. So get your line set up before.
Yeah.
Make sure you have your weights the proper weight, since it's ice or icing.
Yeah.
Crystallizing, would that be the terminology to be used?
Crystallizing, solidifying.
So the water's thicker than normal, so your bait doesn't drop down to the bottom. So you basically, ice fishing, the fish are going to be closer to the bottom than they are the top, because ice is up at the top, water's colder. Fish don't move so fast in cooler water. So the water at the bottom of the lake is now warmer than the water at the top of the lake. You want to be able to have your line drop to the bottom, bring it off the bottom by like 1.5 feet. So you want to weight heavy enough to carry your bait down fast through the slushy water, if you will.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've been adding 3 large weights to each line, and that's just barely enough. Just barely enough. Next time we do this, we're probably going to do 3 large weights and a medium weight.
What do you say? There's probably 8 to 10 grams, maybe a little bit more?
Maybe a little more.
Maybe a little more?
I mean, they're large lead weights, and they're barely getting this line down. It's just so viscous that the line it's not gaining buoyancy. It's just physical, friction and resistance to the viscous liquid. So it's a learning process. We've never done this before. We're in my hunting hooch. We don't have an ice shanty. I don't have one of those. So how are you doing physically, temperature-wise?
Temperature-wise, I would say I did well. I put thermals on underneath, so I have layers. So I would say I have 4 layers of clothing. I have a t-shirt. I have a like a thermal top, and then a long sleeve shirt, and then this jacket.
Right.
My pants, I just have thermal leggings on underneath, and then just regular blue jean pants.
Yeah.
My socks and my boots, I have snow boots on. Those are
nice.
They're rubber, so the water doesn't leak through. And then around the what's the opening of the top part? What's that called?
I don't know.
Where you first put your foot in. I don't know, the mouth of the shoe, if you will, has a little bit of insulation,
furry stuff.
Yeah, around the top part,
which keeps the snow from coming in.
So my boot is keeping me dry. The rubber part does get cold.
Yeah.
And it's not so insulated. So the socks I have on are insulated socks, so that is keeping my foot a little bit warmer. I don't know how yours are doing, but my foot's pretty warm. I think I've sweated in my feet.
Yeah. So both of us digging out the truck, we did a lot of sweating, and our pant legs got very wet.
Yeah.
They got completely caked with snow. We try to knock it off, and it ends up melting into the jean material. We both should have worn waterproof material pants, outer shells at a minimum. I have gaiters for my ankles, but I didn't put them on until after I got the truck out of the snow because I'm stupid. And I've got thick wool socks on. I've got my Gore-Tex hiking boots on, but my feet are super cold, super duper cold. Matter of fact, I'm about ready to pause this video and go check the holes just to get some blood moving back into my feet.
We can go do that if you want.
And we gotta do it anyway, so it's gonna work out. We'll be back in about 2 seconds. Okay, we're back. We're cold. It's cold. So last thing we want to talk about as far as lessons learned, we have the heating packs. Right? We each have 2 heating packs. We put them inside of our gloves. They keep our hands warm. And then when we got to take our gloves off to bait the hooks or whatever, we put them in our pockets so we could shove our hands in our pockets, which you've been doing all of that. Shove his hands in his pockets and immediately get relief.
Towel. Probably bring a towel to be able to dry your hands off.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, I just thought of that.
Yep. And if next time we come out here, we still haven't figured out any sort of shanty to either buy or rent or whatever, and we're using this thing again, I need to bring out my portable heater, which a friend is borrowing right now, otherwise I'd have it already. And we're going to lay down, what's that called? A footprint.
Yeah.
So a tarp. And lay that down to keep the moisture out.
It's kind of like an insulation. So 1, you're not melting the ice, but 2, you're keeping the heat coming up.
Correct. Absolutely. And then the wool blanket from my truck will go down. And then a piece of cardboard to go in between the wool blanket and the heater because, you know, safety. And then we won't have these windows opened letting in light.
We'll probably get like a little light hanging there.
Yeah, I've got one. I've got a tent light. And we'll be totally warm because this is actually a fairly confined space. 2 bodies and a heater in here, we will probably overheat. That will resolve a lot of the negative feelings that we have towards ice fishing at the moment. I'm still having a good time.
I am too. Right. Even though we really haven't caught anything. Actually, I hear somebody. It sounds like somebody might have caught something out there.
Somebody else did, yep.
But I don't think I've seen.
Check and make sure somebody's not waving their hands that they're in trouble. I see somebody running.
Yeah, because they caught one. They actually caught one.
You sure?
Yeah. So what happens? What a tip up is, and we don't have one here, but basically I have older models. I have an old like 1950s style tip up, and basically what they are, mine are just 3 pieces of wood that fold together with a nut, wing nut, and a screw that goes through, or a bolt, excuse me, and a wing nut. And 2 pieces cross and make it like a cross, and they sit on the ice to keep the tip up from going into the underneath the water. The other pole is lengthwise. At the base of the pole, you have your reel with your line,
which is in the water.
At the tip of the pole, basically you have a thin piece of metal, flexible metal, that holds a flag It's some type of orange, yellow, anything bright, because you're out on the snow, on the ice. So you raise the flag up, and it has this little trip catch where it attaches to the reel, and it keeps the reel from unwinding all your line into the water and a fish running away. So it keeps that. Well, what happens when a fish hits it? It turns this this flag.
It trips the catch that the flag is attached to, and the flag springs up. It's about 2.5 feet tall.
Yeah, and this lets you know you have something on your line.
Yeah.
So you run over there. So it's not like a regular fishing rod where you have a wheel or a some type of lever to be able to reel it in. So it's just the line. So you have to pull the line up, hence wearing gloves. And you have to pull the line up. So when you get one, it takes 2 people sometimes, because depending on how deep the water is how much line you have out there. So you're trying to pull all that up.
And some of these fish, some of these pike, yeah, they're good 25-pound pike, and you don't want it to snap your line. So yeah, these are the things that we've learned to this point on this trip that are going to help us on our next trip.
Gloves. So you're dealing with water. I would say the gloves that I have on, I mean, they're not really that great. I like them just because my hands usually run a little bit warm. But if they got wet, that's when I keep pulling them off. If they got wet, it would no longer be doing me a service. So
completely waterproof neoprene gloves.
Yeah.
We need them in order to conduct this activity.
Yep, agreed. I think that's all of our lessons learned for now.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. If you watched all the way to the end, then you are probably like us and need to learn these lessons. Either that or you are us. All right. Again, thanks for watching. Next video, I have no idea when it's going to come out. I got a lot of stuff going on at work, and I haven't had time to do much blacksmithing. I haven't even been in the state very much lately. Been doing some traveling. All right, so thanks again. Have a good night.